And now we come to the biggest decision of them all, the Grand Final. Never before has the AFL Grand Final been played outside Victoria. I want to thank Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews and Sports Minister Martin Pakula for working with us to ensure the 2020 Toyota AFL Grand Final can be played safely in front of a crowd. We know that this is a tough time for all Victorians, and our thoughts are with the Victorian community as we continue to deal with the impacts of this pandemic. The COVID pandemic has meant we've had to take the game interstate for this year only before it returns home to the MCG in 2021. As part of the arrangements with the Victorian Government and the MCC, the deal to play the Grand Final at the MCG has been extended for another year through to 2058. And I want to thank the New South Wales governments, the Queensland government, South Australian and WA governments who formally presented and put together proposals for hosting the event. We thank you and are truly grateful for your support of our game, both this season and in all seasons. The presentations were outstanding and the decision extraordinarily difficult. In the end, the AFL Executive and Commission based decision on these key criteria: safety and the best environment for all, integrity and the need for uncompromised games in a high-performance environment, our fans and the engagement of existing and new supporters, financial support for our game in a year where revenue has been so impacted, and the legacy and the long-term vision for our game. So on behalf of our Chairman, Richard Goyder, the AFL Commission, our 18 clubs, our almost 1 million members and the millions of supporters around the country, I would like to thank the winning state who, when taking into account these criteria, will host our biggest game of the year. So it is my pleasure to formally announce that the 2020 Toyota AFL Grand Final will be played in Queensland at the Gabba. In another historic first, the Grand Final will be scheduled for the night of Saturday, 24th October, with the exact start time to be confirmed as we talk to partners given daylight saving and other issues. The first ever time we've played our Grand Final at night, giving us an opportunity to make it a truly unique event. The date set, 24 October, determines a bye weekend will be held between round 18 and the first week of finals. This decision to hold the game in Queensland continues a partnership between the AFL and the Queensland Government, which has been strengthened again this year as we sought and received support to set up high-performance centres to keep our season going. We also thank the Government and the Chief Health Officer for working through the strict protocols that allowed for hundreds of family members to undertake a strict quarantine before joining players, staff and officials in Queensland to keep the season going. As a code, we've been fortunate to have the support from all state and territory governments. And again, I want to thank all of them for their support. As a code, we are, and always will be, very grateful. Specifically, I want to thank Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk and the Queensland Government for their ongoing support, not only for this year, but in helping to ensure that we're able to leave a lasting legacy for our game in this state. Under the arrangement with the Queensland Government, the Grand Final will be played before a crowd of at least 30,000 people. We also have a contingency. In case there are COVID outbreaks that threaten the ability of safely hosting a Grand Final crowd of that size at the Gabba, we have the ability to reduce numbers or, if needed, move the Grand Final to Adelaide Oval. I want to reiterate the presentations and support from SA, WA and New South Wales were outstanding, and this was an extraordinarily difficult decision. Again, safety has been a focus this season and it will continue to be so. Not only has the Queensland Government made it possible to hold the Grand Final, but they want to ensure that it's not just an event for Brisbane, but a festival of football for the state from far north Queensland to the Gold Coast. Fans throughout the state will get an opportunity to enjoy the chance to participate in the Grand Final build-up. Part of that festival will see the Premiership Cup to regional Queensland centres and a series of activations for kids, for fans and for the football community held across Queensland, so that as many people as possible in the state can enjoy the game.